Clear to play. 40K history.
The Space Wolves were one of the 20 Space Marine Legions, being led by their Primarch Leman Russ. After the Horus Heresy and the resultant reforms, the Legion was divided into two chapters. The new Space Wolves chapter retained the name of their parent Legion, while the second chapter took on the name of the Wolf Brothers. The latter, however, suffered from mutation and was disbanded. It is currently unknown if there are any other descendant chapters of the Space Wolves at all. Defying the rules of the Codex Astartes, the Space Wolves have 12 great companies and have a grand total of around 1,440 Marines. Primarch Leman Russ grew up on the distant planet of Fenris, a snow-covered world inhabited by primitive, warlike tribes of humans. He was raised by a pack of the massive Fenrisian wolves that prowl the snowy lands. He was discovered by a man named Thengir, king of the Russ, who had organized a party of hunters to clear the wolf pack from his lands. As most of the wolves were slaughtered, the young man was captured and brought to Thengir, who took him into his care, under the name of Leman Russ. The Primarch learned the ways of man quickly, and many legends sprung up about him. Upon his adopted father's death, the leadership of the Russ passed to Leman. Leman became a mighty leader, winning many victories, often fighting alongside packs of Fenrisian wolves, led by two of his wolf brothers who escaped Thengir's hunters. The Emperor traveled to Fenris, having heard word of the exploits of Leman Russ, realizing that they could only be the work of a Primarch. At first, Leman Russ refused to pay him homage, going as far as challenging him. The challenges consisted of 3 different contests, one being eating, the other drinking, and the third being a fist-fighting one. Russ managed to beat the Emperor at both eating and drinking, but the third challenge was more to the Emperor's liking. Having at first seemed like a disappointment, a drunkard and a boaster, the Primarch suddenly launched a furious attack. This very challenge proved to the Emperor that this was indeed one of his sons, Russ fighting with outstanding speed and power. After having the disappointment lifted from his spirit by his son's ferocity, the Emperor stopped holding back and quickly found an opening in Leman Russ's defenses. The Emperor raised his power fist, knocking the Primarch out with a single blow that would have killed a lesser man. Leman Russ awoke later and blamed his loss on the alcohol, but in the end admitted defeat and swore loyalty to the Emperor. He fought well during the Great Crusade, gaining the reputation as a cunning and fierce, as well as slightly unstable warrior and leader. During a pacification war, the Dark Angels aided the Space Wolves, and the leader of this particular planet insulted Leman Russ's honor, and so he wanted to defeat the leader personally for the insult. The Dark Angels and the Space Wolves, both led by their respective Primarchs, assaulted the tower where the leader was. Leman Russ burst into the throne room, just in time to see Lionel Johnson beheading the leader. Angry that the honor was not his, Leman Russ marched up to the lion and punched him in the jaw. This led to a battle that lasted a week or more, until finally Russ saw how immature their squabble was and started laughing. Lionel Johnson took this as Russ mocking him and punched Leman Russ into unconsciousness before leaving the planet with his legion. This led to a bitter feud between the legions and subsequent chapters, which lasts to this day, although recent events may finally have led to an end to the rivalry, though it is still customary for selected champions from both sides to engage in a non-lethal duel. The Space Wolves are known for their fiercely anti-authoritarian behavior. They strongly resist the central command structure of the Imperium and refuse to follow the dictates of the Codex Astartes, which lays the structure and tactics to be used by all Space Marines. Their army has a strong Viking feel to them, along with many wolf references and long drinking sessions, right down to their wolf-like teeth and heightened senses. They are very superstitious and only rarely make use of advanced technology used by other chapters, such as teleportation. The 12 Great Companies are a defiance of the standardized codex laid out by Rubaut Gilliman. Each Great Company is based in the Fang, the Space Wolves chapter fortress, and is led by a wolf lord who answers only to the Great Wolf. Each Great Company is fully self-contained, made up of a body of fully armed troops, as well as the spacecraft necessary to transport the Great Company. They each also have their own forges and customs. The size of each Great Company is unknown, but the Space Wolves Legion was said to be one of the smaller legions. As each great company serves as an independent army, they maintain a much greater number of troops as opposed to codex companies. Speculation has ranged from between 150 and 1,000 Marines per great company. Each great company is made of a number of packs that function much like a Space Marine squad. However, their tactical usage varies greatly. Each squad is unique in that it doesn't ever receive reinforcements, making the higher level squads smaller in number compared to the lowest Bloodclaw pack. Many Bloodclaw packs start with as many as 15 Marines. However, losses take their toll, and by the time a Bloodclaw squad reaches the level of Grey Hunter, normally only 9 or 10 are left. As they age, further losses limit the squad sizes of Longfangs down to just 5 or less. Amongst the number of dreadnoughts in the Space Wolves chapter, some are extremely ancient, carrying warriors such as Bjorn the Fell-Handed, who walked beneath the same sky as the Emperor himself and who stood beside Leman Russ in battle. These dreadnoughts are revered and so respected in their skill in battle that on rare occasions, a dreadnought may be called upon to lead an army into battle. The troops following in his footsteps will chant his name, remembering the many sagas they have heard. This is a fearsome scene to behold for any enemy.
Visit miniwargaming.com to see our videos 1 month early.